we'll go into the tribute bands. Let's not make everything about me because I know you
Okay,
don't like.
gotcha. All right, there. All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a new episode of Music Maniacs coming at you at full throttle. Right now, it's just me and Prince Idol, and we're waiting for Paul 3 and YR to join on the call just as well. But unfortunately, apparently, the YR sent it out a thing for thing on Microsoft Teams to join in on this meeting, but unfortunately, that's not been working out too well for the past couple of minutes. So I got a DM for Prince here, and we decided,
Yes.
fuck this, let's do this on Skype as always. You know, I was going to suggest StreamYards, but YR mentioned that we only could probably do about an hour because we got to pay for it to go either further than that. So I said, fuck it, let's do this. So right now, it's me, Prince Idol, on the call, and we're ready to roll. So let's get to the nitty-gritty first. The situation that occurred about a couple weeks ago. What's going on, Prince? What was the situation here? Apparently, there was some
The
shots thrown
situation
at you.
was from what I understand, YR said something. From what I understand, it was an issue where I thought something about from the other shows prior. We talked about me and YR hooking up to go to see Billy Idol,
Hmm.
and I said I would look into it. I never said I was going to do it. I said I would look into it. It sounds great. I will see about the tickets, which I did, and the tickets wasn't that much. But then a YR comes at me with this other concert and tells me I should get that ticket and go with him. I said, dude, I thought we were going to Billy Idol, not ACDC, whatever
Mm.
he was talking about. And he said, no, we need to go to ACDC. I was like, dude, I could have sworn you said something about going to see Billy Idol playing in Fourth Worth here in Texas.
Mm.
So he kind of confused me. And then I leave the chat for a minute to find my bearings. I come back to the chat. I see Dave Rose talking shit about me. I see Paul 3 telling me, fuck you. I see YR said he stood me up. I said, dude, I didn't stood you up. I was trying to make a decision on if we're going to one concert or the other. So I never stood him up. I didn't know what was going on. But then I realized, you know what? I'm gonna pull out. I'm gonna back away from this because you just showed me your true colors. So that's why I was like, why should I go to a concert with a person who just showed me his true colors for me not giving him an answer? I was still trying to collect my bearings. Honestly, I was trying to collect my bearings and seeing which show I can afford. That's all I was doing, Earl. But as soon
Hmm.
as I come back to the chat, I hear, fuck you, Prince Idol, you're a piece of shit, da da da. So do you blame me for being like, you know what? If that's how it's gonna be, then I don't want to go on no show with you.
Wow. So you
Or you
stepped
would
away
probably do the
for a while.
same if someone was to show you your true colors. You would do the same. Why would you waste your money and your precious time with someone who says that about you just because they didn't give you a fast enough answer?
Yeah, but yeah, that's true. There, you do have a point. I mean, like, I wouldn't appreciate that being tossed at me, then for sure.
So if he's butthurt that I threw it back in his face, well, you deserved it. You said fuck you to me for no reason because I didn't give you a fast enough answer. But then you're gonna sit here and be butthurt that I didn't want to go to concert with you after you said that about me behind my back. I come back to the Skype chat and that's what you guys are gossiping about. Fuck you, Prince Idol.
Wow, I know I saw that. I was like, wait, but what's going on? And then I got your message directed to me,
Yeah,
tell
you
me
didn't do
that you're
nothing to
stepping
me. I
away.
appreciate you're not putting your neck in that. I don't know why Dave Rose attacked me. I don't know why Paul 3 attacked me. I wasn't going to concert with Dave or Paul. This whole situation started between me and YR.
Hmm.
And I've always had prior beef with YR. This is nothing new. You know that.
Yes. Well, for I understand, Dave Rose messaged me and said he would probably do a stream this coming Saturday. I don't know if it's going to be a drama diner or a chill hangout, but if you're on Discord, you could definitely join him on that call and explain everything that you mentioned to me just now and see where Dave takes it from
I'm
there.
sure. I'm sure he'll get the replay. I'm sure he's probably out there listening to what I have to say about this whole situation.
Right.
I'm sure Dave is
And
listening. I'm sure Paul is listening. I'm sure YR is listening.
well, Dave, if you're listening right now, feel free to join in the conversation and let's get this thing settled off. I mean, settled
So
all
all I'm
together
saying,
there.
Earl, is I'm not trying to play the victim. I know Paul's not a victim. YR's not a victim. I'm just saying, if you spit in my face, don't be surprised if I spit back in your face.
Ooh, wow, there's
Because
something
I'm
there.
trying to figure out what was the reason for them to curse me out like that in the chat. I know you saw what I saw. I come back in there and I literally hear, I mean, I literally see in the text, "Fuck you, Prince Idol," and all this shit. I'm like, what the hell? What happened?
I'm not too sure, man. I was kind of surprised that they did what they did myself. I was like, what the heck, man? He's been part of the music show. I
Yeah,
know.
and all I come back to the music show when you guys were live, and I hear this commotion between YR, Dave, and Paul saying YR is doing this, she's doing that, and then I hear Paul getting rowdy, and then I hear Dave getting rowdy, and that's why I comment in the chat. I always win because it looks like YR, you rub people the wrong way. I'm sorry to say you kind of do sometimes, bro, and you're very controlling, and you get upset when you can't get your point across. You start yelling in the mic. "Arr!" You do it to me. You do it to Dave. You do it to Paul. You do it to Earl all the time. You do. And I'm being straight up honest. I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing, bro. I'm real as can be, as always. You do. When you can't get your way, you either leave the call or you start making weird noises.
Right.
Am I lying on that, Earl?
Not really. You'd have a point on that one.
See, I came. This is the reason why I said let's handle it this Thursday, because I wanted to make sure my facts are straight and make sure I'm not the one looking crazy. Because a lot of people want to spin it that, oh, Prince Idol's a problem. Prince Idol's not a problem. I usually come with the facts. They even said it last week. He's everyone has their own significant point of view on what we do on this show. Paul has his, you have yours, and YR has his. It's just that sometimes YR you can be immature, more immature than I am. You want to talk about how late we are to the show. I see that as rock and roll. A lot of musicians and rock stars are late to the show. That's just a
Oh,
rock and
I
roll.
can mention that. I cannot count how many times that has occurred when I see bands many times before.
Yeah, that's just a rock and roll thing. So don't get mad at us for me and Paul being late to the show. That's just rock and roll.
Well,
That's just
let's
rock.
not forget me being late to a couple of programs due to heavy traffic when I'm
Yeah,
trying to
you know
head
what I'm
back
saying? So
home.
don't sit here and nitpick us for being late. That's nothing. That's just rock and roll. All of us have our own timing. We all live in a different timing zone. Okay, we all live in different separate
That's
states.
true. Yeah, I'm in the eastern. You're both in the in the central. I know Dave's in the eastern just as well there. So it's kind of like a little bit. It's kind of this. It's kind of complicated when it comes to that because obviously the time zones. Now, if we had someone in California or the Pacific time zone or the Mountain time zone, that would definitely be big challenge for both of us because of that.
Right. Right.
You know. All right, so YR, Paul 3, we're waiting them to join the call. So,
Yes, because I would love to hear what they have to say based on what I have just explained about myself. So I only didn't want to be a part of the show because I was like, if I'm going to be disrespected and what goes on behind the scenes, I didn't want to sit on the show and just pretend to be happy and like Paul said, he's pretending to be happy. He has that frustration. And Paul, if you're listening, you're absolutely right. I was frustrated. And I'm not going to sit here and play a poker face when I'm not happy. I'm not going to sit here and be silent or, try to act like I'm happy when I'm not. I'm not going to sit here and suffer for nobody. So that's why I had a lot of built up frustration because I was confused on what we were supposed to be doing.
right, because I
But
thought,
I stood him up. I did not stood him up.
all right,
I didn't know what we were doing. From what I was told, he said we need to go see Billy Idol and Fort Worth. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what he wanted to do.
I
And the
think
next thing you
so,
know,
yes, if I
on
remember it well.
ACDC.
You
And I
know,
looked
because
it up. I didn't see no ACDC concert anywhere in Fort Worth. So I was confused. He said buy the ticket. What ticket? The ticket to Billy Idol or
I think
ACDC?
it was in either Dallas or Arlington, Texas that ACDC
But
show was held in.
but the agreement was upon me and him, Earl, to go see Billy Idol. That's what I was told. That's what we told Dave.
Mhm.
Because we were going to go see hook up and see Billy Idol. But then I guess, like I said, YR changed his mind and tells me, forget about, I guess he was trying to tell me, forget about Billy Idol. We should go see AC/DC instead. I said, I don't know nothing about AC/DC. I know about going to see Billy Idol.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you don't know anything about AC/DC because they've been around since the early
I didn't
70s.
hear anything about being in Texas. I know who AC/DC the band is. I didn't know that they were performing
Oh,
in Arlington, Texas. I had no idea of that.
yeah, I kind of didn't know about it till my while back until YR mentioned them when he saw them. I know he uploaded a couple of videos on one of his channels recently.
Right.
All right,
But
there.
I guess I missed out on both concerts because both concerts would have been great. Seeing Billy Idol and AC/DC would have been a great experience for me. So I'll admit I fucked up on that. I fucked up on a good concert. So I'll take accountability for that. But as far as them cursing me out, they need to take accountability for that because there was no need to curse me out for that. There was no need.
All right, there. You know what's sad about it is that if you would have went to either shows with YR, you could have done a live stream on that very
Yeah.
same day that like me and YR did on New Year's Eve 2021.
Yes. I see you guys love that moment. You cherish that moment. That's
It
a good
was
moment
great
for you guys.
because we in the past we kind of like had a disdain for each other. We didn't hate each other, but we kind of like had a disdain for one another. But we got together in 2020, did some music shows together, some drama shows alongside, and of course, we met in real life in both 2021 and 2022, a year later, before I moved to Florida. And I will say it was quite an experience for both of us. I know Dave even mentioned that YR is still having orgasms over that as well.
Orgasms. Oh God.
Orgasms, because he mentioned about us meeting together for that Christmas Eve stream many times after it occurred. I know a lot of people are asking how is he, well, how tall is he and everything else, blah 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 and everything else. Because that was the talk of the town that very night, Christmas Eve 2021.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know what?
You know, me in the community, the one guy who I always wanted to meet back when we were cool, back when we were all together. I always wanted to meet I don't know if I can say his name or not, but I'm gonna give him a shout out. I
Mm,
always wanted to meet Tony Rivera. I always wanted to,
mm.
meet him. I always thought he was a cool guy, but we all split up in our separate ways. But I always thought he was a cool dude. Shout out to him.
All right there. Yes, definitely. I hope he's doing well. You know what? It'd be nice if he was on the call with us or a part of this conversation. But then again, he has his own thing. He has his own
Yes.
routine.
Yes.
I think the only time he joined one of our old shows was when it was about the new metal scene, and that was when Bullfrog was still in the community. And most of
Well,
the time, it was mostly Bullfrog going off on Jacob R. Pee Wee.
yeah. I heard that he was getting married. I don't know if that's true or not.
Bullfrog.
Yeah, I heard he's gotten married and everything. I don't know how.
I need to see proof before I believe it.
Same here. But
Exactly.
that's recent news I heard a while back that he,
Because Bullfrog has been known to fib many times in the past about everything under the sun.
right.
Yeah. So in the meantime, let's talk about a couple of things that's right on. Basically, I'm getting tongue tied here, ladies and gentlemen. My bad for that. Now, since it's you and I, Prince, let's talk about something that Dave Rose mentioned in the Skype chat about which good topic to talk about other than the one we just discussed, which is
You know,
tribute bands.
the tribute bands. The last time we talked about tribute bands, we talked about the young man that sounds like Freddie Mercury.
Yes. Mark, what's his name
I've
there?
seen videos of that recently. He's really good.
Yeah,
He's
he
really
is. Absolutely. When we heard it, I think when Paul played it for us, he was like, holy cow. Damn, they should have got this guy instead of Adam Lambert.
yeah. But YR, he went crazy on that one. He loves him. Like, you can love Adam Lambert. I'm just saying this kid will do Freddie's justice to a T. And you can't
That's
tell me
true.
I'm lying. He would be great.
That's true there. You can most definitely agree on that. I think it would be nice to have I was going to mention it'd be nice for Queen to have put out a new studio album, either with this guy or Adam Lambert, but I'm thinking of an album that they did with Paul Rogers from Free and Bad Company called The Cosmos Rock, and just tanked miserably because it just seemed like Queen at that time.
Right.
Of course, let's not forget they did a tour back in 2025, excuse me, 2005 called Return
Right.
to the Champions that came out as a live album with the same name.
Right.
All right, there. Now, I've seen a few tribute groups myself back when I was still in Texas. There was a venue on 1960 Road called the Concert Pub North, which had a lot of tribute acts out there. There was a tribute to David Bowie. There was a tribute to a Led Zeppelin that I saw called Black Dog. There was a Heart tribute. I forgot the name of the band, but I think it may be Little Queen or Dreamboat Annie, named a couple of their from their albums. But I'm thinking, I think right now, in terms of seeing shows, seeing concerts other than the originals, tribute bands may be the way to go, according to YR himself. He mentioned that a few times in the past. Mainly because the originals are getting up there in age. A lot of them don't have that pizzazz like they used to. In fact, I saw footage of Hart doing some shows, and Ann Wilson, her hair was short, it was white. I understand that may be old age, but she was in a wheelchair. I'm not too sure it was from the cancer situation that she went through a long while ago, or something else, or an illness, or anything like that. But I noticed there was a little bit of flaws in her singing voice. It's not like it used to be on the records and early shows in the past. But then again, like I mentioned, they're in their 60s, 70s, mid 50s, and be honest with you, age is going to take a toll on you. I mean, look at John Bon Jovi. A lot of people are saying he needs some voice treatment or something because he ain't sounding like he used to be.
I mean,
Why I pointed that out in
Steven,
one of our discussions.
Steven Tyler.
Yeah,
It
it's
happened
true
to
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The vocal issues he had in the past just dismantled Aerosmith's final tour altogether.
Yeah, and I love Aerosmith, and I really wanted to see them finish out in a bang. I really wanted to see how that would end. They were playing what in Vegas, I believe.
I believe so. They were doing their farewell tour there. It was called the Peace Out Tour. It was their last ever tour. But unfortunately, there were so many issues with Steven's voice being bad as it was. I'm not too sure what caused it, but nevertheless,
Some
because of
really,
this issue, Aerosmith decided, hey, let's call the day ahead of time. Let's go our separate ways. I know Joe Perry is involved with the Hollywood Vampires with Johnny
yeah,
Depp and Alice Cooper.
yes.
Hmm.
It's really sad because Steven Tyler was one hell of a good singer.
Yeah, no,
Good
yeah.
God, that man could scream.
I know exactly. I mean, like I can remember stuff like from the Toys in the Attic album being played on almost 8 track across America, across the neighborhood that we grew up in. I remember stuff like Train Kept a Rolling
Yep.
being played on commercial radio stations so many times in the past. And of course, the overdone two of them all, Dream On and Walk This Way.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And it fits to say that the collaboration they did with Run DMC on their version of Walk This Way kind of like sparked the rap and rock genre to take a float.
Yes. Yes, it did.
Yep.
Yes, it did.
Hmm. And
It's really
which
sad
is
that
true because a lot of rock stars collaborated with rappers before. Anthrax would work with the Public Enemy on the remake of Bring the Noise, an old PE song. Anthrax also did something with a rap group called UTFO on a track called Illegal from the album the same name. That was in 1987.
like Lincoln Park with Jay Z.
That's true there.
Like
But back to the
it's a good
discussion
song.
because I get way off track here. A
Go
lot
ahead.
of people are seeing tribute bands because obviously, as we mentioned, the original lineups have fallen apart. The singer had departed and is involved in a lawsuit against his old bandmates. I know Dennis DeYoung of Styx tried that for a while. He tried to sue his old band because they were using the name without him. But then again, Dennis DeYoung has been known to be like a control freak at times. So in his place, we have Lawrence Galwood, a Canadian who had this one hit called A Criminal Nine, which I recommend everybody checking out. But people are kind of like still longing for the old Sticks. So I guess these tribute groups out there, they're paying homage to these acts of the yesteryear. I kind of like the thing now.
You know what's crazy? When I was in Las Vegas, speaking of tribute bands, getting into that, when I was in Vegas, I seen a lot of just what you just said, tribute bands. People doing a tribute to Michael Jackson, Prince, like all these rock bands. I seen a guy on the strip playing the piano, and he was dressed up as Elton John. I thought that was pretty cool.
All right, there. That's right. You mentioned the Prince tribute that you saw, meeting
Yeah,
his
yeah.
ex-wife and meeting
The strip,
everybody.
Vegas, you see just so many different performances that is just wild. People do, like, for example, people doing tribute to Elvis for years out there.
Oh, no surprise because of the residency that Presley
Yeah,
did throughout those years.
it's a lot. So I seen a lot of performances when I was in Vegas.
What the-
So good stuff. So much talent out there, man.
And if I understand, you earn lots of big bucks from doing these residencies, if I'm correct.
Yes, yes, you do. Yes, you do.
As I know, Celine Dion did a residency, the Scorpions, and a whole bunch of other acts as well. So
It's beautiful. I don't know if you ever been to Vegas, Earl, but you need to go.
never have. I would like to check it out. If I were to go to Vegas, it would not only meet up with Mars Mirror sometime to see how he's doing. We can meet up, hang out, go to this one casino or this other nightclub or whichever there.
drink. Oh, you don't drink. You don't drink, so you can't have a drink.
Yeah, that's true there. But
And just
that doesn't
chill.
prevent me from getting me a soda pop or something there,
Yeah, yeah.
or a non-alcohol something there. But I know a few friends of mine who on Facebook who I remember from Michigan years ago who reside in Vegas. One of them is a lady named Eva who is a guitar player. She's
Hmm.
considered a Las Vegas guitarist because she plays with a lot of covers groups. One of them being an all-female project called Sugar. Got to give her a shout out for that project that she has going on right now. And
Me
usually
personally,
play that you usually play in this area called Fairmont Street, which there is an open crowd outside on the streets. I gotta look into that pretty soon. But there was a few
I only I
what?
only know one guy. He's from Michigan, and he's one hell of a guitar player. His name is Earl Brown. You check him out.
Yep, that's right. Thank you. And by the way, I know. By the way, I remember tributes at the Concha Pub North. One called Oz, which is a tribute, of course, Ozzy Osbourne, of course. There's how many Van Halen tributes out there. There's one called Simply Van Halen Tribute. There's a group called Unchained. There's another group called Jump. I mean, I cannot count how many Kiss tribute bands that are out there. I remember a couple guys from the band Vampirella had a Kiss tribute on the side called War Machine, named
Right.
after one of their early songs. And I remember there was so the rise of tribute bands are coming out like crazy. I remember hearing about this one band that was playing
Earl, do
around the Detroit area. Go ahead.
the main bands don't sound too good?
What up again?
I said, do you believe? I said, is it because a lot of the original bands, the singers or whatever, they always either fighting or the singer don't sing the part the way the album is. So that I feel like there's a lot of tribute bands because the original bands are, like you said, they're getting old, so they may not sound good anymore. So, in my opinion, do you feel like there's so many tribute bands because the original bands they're not playing the part or they get new members? Like, for example, like you said, with Motley Crue, they got a new guy instead of the original guitar player. It's like, so there's a
Mhm.
lot of changes being made to the original bands to where a lot of people want to do tribute bands based off the original lineup. That's how I
Yes,
see it.
pretty much yes. I think that may be one of the key factors, along with what we mentioned earlier about bands. and members not being able to, especially the singers, not able to sing the notes that they used to back in the day. I mean, like, look how many jokes and memes were
Yeah.
made of Vince Neil because of the way he
Yeah.
tries to sing on stage, and it sounds
He's getting old.
horrible.
He's getting old.
I know, yes. I know with the along with the allegations that Nikki Six cannot play bass being tossed around, the backing tracks rumors being tossed around during their stadium tour a couple years back.
I don't think he really ever did play bass. I
Hmm.
don't think Nicky ever knew how to play bass. No offense to him. I don't think he ever really was like a real good bass player. No offense. Great songwriter, great producer. When it comes to instrument, I don't think he ever really did play his instrument.
Well, I think he started out on the guitar originally with to join this
Yeah.
one band, but actually the story was he stole his first guitar from the music shop while I
Yep.
guess everybody was unsuspecting. And he took it back to the band that he wanted to join and said, "Hey,
Yep.
that's a regular guitar, not a bass." Yo, I guess he played briefly for a band called London, based in the LA area, and I saw some footage of that. And
And they broke
Nicky
up, and then
wasn't,
he met Tommy.
yeah, I guess he met Tommy, met Mick, and then met Vince Neil, and then boom, Motley Crue was soon born. Now,
Yes, it was.
Mick was a veteran. He had a project called War White Horse that was going around the LA area for quite some time now. In fact, look it up on YouTube, Mick Mars White Horse, and you see a concert that they were doing in some parking lot or somewhere where the drum kit is actually turned upside down, and everybody just rose and looked on in shock because that had at that time has never been done.
Right.
Mm.
So then Tommy Lee, I guess he was inspired from that for
I'm
him to do
thinking
what he did.
so. And a lot of the comments of that video said, yeah, Tommy Lee came up with that idea first. Ha ha ha. Maybe Tommy
No, I
Lee,
think Tommy Lee was inspired by that idea.
yeah, who knows? But then again, you got to remember, many groups at the time were doing a lot of stuff of that nature. Kiss, for example, the levitating drum kits and the levitating stands where all four members would be on towards the end of the show.
Right. And I think only reason why I think Tommy Lee was inspired from it because if you think about it, that band came out way before Tommy was in the band. So
Hmm.
that's how maybe Mars shared the video with him, and that's where he got his inspiration to sit there and say, "Oh, do you mind, Mars, if I can, do that, Mick?" And Mick probably told him, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why not? Why not?"
Or maybe Mars probably told Tommy about this idea, and that's where
That's what I'm
Tommy took
saying.
it
Yeah,
from
he
there on. Yes.
probably told him, and probably convinced him, "Hey, you should do this because you'd be the first drummer in history to ever do this."
Hmm. But
And he
then again,
was.
which kind of gives Tommy credit because the cage that he was in while that drum kit was rotating was all over the place.
It was. It was
Where
wild.
was the drum kit that was turned upside down? The White House video was just like turned upside down, being bamboo. Enough said, and left there for how
Then
many
recently,
minutes?
recently, I don't know if he still does it. I think they stopped doing it. On his recent shows, I remember he had like the whole roller coaster thing going on, and then it got
Yep.
stuck. So I
Yes.
guess they stopped doing it.
Yeah, that was on the last ever gig that they did back in 2015.
They
That
always
was
say
in
they're on the
Toronto.
last gig. They always say they're on the last gig
I
when they
know
when they
we
come
always
back.
we and remember we had the discussion on that. I recommend everybody go to that
Yes.
episode most definitely. But I got let's not forget
Let's dive in.
let's not forget the AC/DC tribute band Back in Black, which YR saw a few years
Mhm.
ago. There was even a documentary called My Stupid Tribute Band that he showed the link in one of our chats for me to check out,
Mhm.
which I listened to for a while while I was at my workplace.
So, so is that the band he wanted to see that was allegedly playing out here in Fort Worth, or that was the original band that was playing here in
Oh,
Fort
which
Worth?
one? Which one?
They
In
wanted to
Fort
fly out
Worth,
and
the
see. Did he
ACDC?
want to? Yeah, was it the real ACDC or was it the cover band he was trying to see?
Well, it was a real AC/DC, but it was Brian Johnson, Angus Young, Stephen Young, who is, I guess, related to Angus, and two new guys on drums and bass.
Oh,
Yeah, I
that would
remember
have been a good
Wire
concert.
mentioned that.
Recently, now I saw or if you don't mind me saying, I saw a promotion where it was Def Leppard and Motley Crue playing together.
Yep, that
That's
was in
recent. I saw
2000.
that.
Yep, that was in 2022. The stadium tour, the Crew, the Leopard, Poison, Joan Jett, and the Blackhearts.
Well, it
That.
looks like they're advertising it again, and Motley Crue's going on tour with their new guitar player, so they're going to do that again, I
All
guess.
right. Okay, I
I
got
really
this
don't- yeah,
message. It's a
yeah, I
YR.
love
What's
Motley
the
Crue.
edit? Hold
I
up a
just
sec.
don't. I told you before. I just don't like it with the. It just don't feel right with the new guy. I'm sorry. It don't feel the same.
You know
Something
what?
seems
You're not the only one who felt that way when Motley Crue got rid of Vince Neil and brought in John Corabi into the mix to do that one record. A lot of people were not happy about that.
because it's something about the original sound that you just can't take away from. That's what it is.
Mhm.
And we're so used to seeing original band lineups. Like people still want the original members of Guns N' Roses. They would still want Izzy to come back. They still want Steven to come back, even though Steven joined them for a brief minute, but he really can't join them because from his his stroke from the drugs he had. But
Mhm.
he can still play drums, but it's not as good
Not
as
as
he
good
used.
as it used to be, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have been. I know so many people. That's the thing with. Let me give you another example. Judas Priest.
Yes.
Right now, the main members that we all know by heart are singer Rob Halford and bass player Ian Hill. Scott Travis, who's been with the group since 1990, he's still with them, thank goodness, because he's one badass of a drummer. And of course, they got Richie Faulkner on lead guitar, taking over KK Downing's place, as
Right.
well as okay, hold on a second. I think it's YR called me on Microsoft Teams. Let
Hmm.
me see. Hold on. Let me put on here. YR. Hold on there.
It's calling the show, bro. It's
Yeah,
calling on the show.
I'm trying to get the speaker on. There we go.
Yo, Skype is like integrating everything into Teams, so I can't message through Skype. I
Ah,
don't know. I have trouble with Skype, and then I created a new Teams account, and I'm trying to get it figured out and from here, but you're on Skype on the thing. Do y'all want to? I'm trying to figure this out, Brown.
well,
This is new.
can
Like
you?
Teams is kind of like Skype, but it's the whole new deal, right?
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass right now because they're trying to join that meeting that you set up on the X Messenger a while ago before we started the show, and it was giving me
Yeah,
hassles
but I
on my
can't even,
computer.
bro. Like I see that, but then I get out. I know what you're saying, but then I can't even sign in and shit. So that's why I had to create a new Teams account.
I
But
understand.
y'all are on Skype, but I can't even sign into Skype because it's all integrated.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? So like I was using my Skype account for Teams, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not letting me sign in. But I actually made a Teams account. I didn't make a
Yes.
Skype account to integrate through. So I made a whole new just Teams, and it's
Okay.
seeming to work because we're talking now. You know what I'm saying?
All right there.
Because I couldn't get a hold of y'all. I couldn't get a hold of y'all through Skype or whatever, and I don't want to fight with Prince.
Skype is
I'm not here to
the
fight with Prince or argue with Prince.
Skype
I
is
don't hate Prince. I don't want to kill Prince. The concert's over with. I know not to ask him to go to concerts anymore because it upsets him. So I'm not.
Hold on. Well, hold on. Why are Prince is right here right now?
Here, let me add. Let me add. Does Prince have Teams?
I think he does have Teams, but right now we're on Skype at the moment.
I
Let
can't get on the Skype, so that's what I'm saying.
well,
Like,
let me see if
Skype
I
sucks. You
can.
can't
Let me
even
see
make it
if
do
I can
nothing with
add
Skype.
you.
It's like doing it all right now,
All
bro.
right.
Like
So
this
let me
week, it's
go.
all integrated. It's
Tell you
weird.
what. Let's go to your other. Let's go to your main account, the Music Maniacs one, and I'll see if I can add you there.
No, but I'm saying I even had like a Music Maniacs and a YR Skype, and I'm trying to sign into both, and they're not letting me sign in. Like Skype's done. If you're not already signed in, and you know what I'm saying? Like it's working for y'all, but I feel like if y'all signed out of Skype, like I did, because I was getting confused. I thought it was going to Teams. They said go to Team. I don't know, but you can.
Tell you what, I found a new account here on Skype. I'm going to add you.
But no, I'm saying I can't even sign into Skype, Brown. Let me see what I got.
Yeah, I see it here.
I add you into something? I don't know what it's doing.
I know. I found the Teams account that you're calling me on right now in the add to the call on Skype.
Where it says yo?
Yep, what?
There's a message that says yo. I sent you on Skype. On the new Skype.
I see it. I have it right now in my add to call.
All right, let's try that.
Okay, gotcha.
We got to explain explain to Prince to have the Teams ready or whatever.
Okay. Well, I have Teams on both my computer and phone here.
Well, see, look, we're on a good start with Teams because me and you can hear and you can hear each other. If you want to do speaker on the Teams, you just press the speaker thing on the bottom. I figured it out.
All right, there.
But
good to have to teach me sometime.
Working, it's
All right there. So, okay, I'm going to add you to the mix right now, guys. All right, let's do this.
And this will be on you see the Music Maniacs YR Skype?
Yes, I have it right now. I'd already have it checked on that. I'm going to do that right now. All right there. Okay, so let's do this. All right.
So what are we doing? Are we ending the show?
No, we're adding YR to the show right now. Good to see if he joins in. YR, you there, man? There you are. There you go.
Yo, I want to talk to Prince.
Are we going to be able to get Paul?
What up?
I want to talk. Now, look, listen, Prince. I heard you talked a lot of shit about me, but I don't care because I don't hate anyone. I don't hate you. I never hated you.
No, dude, ain't nobody talking shit about you. I was stating my point.
No, I know. It's all good. Look,
you started.
I didn't mean to offend you. I
didn't
mean to offend you by inviting you to a concert. Thank you. Dr. Brown, tell him what we're talking about, bro. There's no hate or nothing. Like, come on.
There's no hate, please. There's no hate. Let's have no more hate, okay, guys? No more throw with words around each one.
And you, Dave and Paul, were saying "fuck you" to me, so you started it.
Well, that was Paul 3 saying that.
Yeah, but look, you guys can
get that out. Listen, when you're going to a concert, you're not nose deep into Skype conversation. You're doing a lot of things. You're getting something to eat, maybe have a drink or two, getting your parking spot, waiting in line.
Yeah, but then again,
trying to save my phone battery the best I can. I'm not nose deep in a Skype convo before or after. I mean, kind of after a concert because I'm sending videos or whatever. Or, I'll post the concert video. But Prince, all I have to say is, it's okay if you didn't want to go. That's not me. That's all Paul 3 on that. I mean, but it was if you had stuff on that I didn't know about that, I didn't offend you by giving you my bad.
It was unnecessary to curse me out for not going to a concert. That was what made me upset. That pissed me off.
Earl, can you add Paul on here, please, brother?
Okay, I'll do that right now. Is he contacting you to join this mix?
Yeah, like Prince, next episode we have to do Microsoft Teams because like Skype is egging. It's like not glitchy now, but kind of. It's getting weird. It's like not letting me do. Not letting me.
I know. I want to find the guy who started this whole bullshit and beat his ass to a pulp.
Look, me and Brown heard each other fine on because before that we were on. I called him on the Teams.
Yes.
And our audio was fine. So that's step one. Like me and Brown were talking on Teams and the audio was good.
Yes, it was.
You know what I'm saying? But Skype, like guys, within the next week or two, there will be no more Skype and a lot of, people need to switch over now to Spaces or Even the one thing that we used to use, StreamYard, the free
Yes.
version, where you only get 2 hours for the month.
That's
2 hours.
okay with me. That's okay with me. It's been a long time since
No,
we did
do like
StreamYards.
do like what do you mean? We do like at least 4 hours a month. If we do 1 hour show, and that's really too short, like we really 1 to 2 hours our shows.
Yeah.
You would have to pay for StreamYards, Brown, but eventually we will probably move to X because that's where everything's going. The community's like fading out, and people, there's not really people here anymore. No one's really joining calls. No, I mean, especially with this Teams thing, no one's really who's gonna download Teams like that wasn't already on Skype, and like that's like I'm trying to word it so everyone can understand. Like, and I'm not being negative. I'm just
Trying to transition from YouTube to X.
it's weird, Prince. You know how it is. You know how it is
I understand.
when you get a new tennis shoe, like like it's cool at first, blah blah. It's new, but like you got to take some time to get used to. You know what I mean? Like at
Mhm.
first, but it all fits in. But like when you get when you use new platforms, when you like whole new platforms, there's a group of people that choose to download that app, and there's a group of people that don't. There's people that don't use Skype anymore that was doing Skypes. Like it's going to be harder to get people on shows per se, like for what we do, but I do keep open communication on X with, certain people, good people, and actually a couple celebrities. So I'm like, at the end of the day, Spaces will be the new Skype, and Spaces will Google. What's that one guy's Google?
Google
Google
what again? Hmm?
used to have, or in the
The voice
2000s,
cut out.
2010s, like Google used to have their version of shit, like Google whatever, Google Hangouts. Google Hangouts, I think it was called.
I think I remember, yes.
But anyway, friends, I've been seeing these rumors. It's kind of a mixed bag show, I guess, tonight. But like, I've been seeing these rumors on Facebook, Brown and Prince, and it's clearly a fake It's not wallpaper. It's like a what the hell is it called? A
Why I think your voice is cutting out, dude.
advertising for future.
Why damn. Heard you on that one. Yeah, I think is gotta check your connection, dude.
I'm getting the microphone on my back.
There you go. I see. Probably I thought it was maybe the connection that you have at your place there doing that to
Yo,
you.
Prince.
Brent?
Brown,
Yes.
did
Can you
you
hear me?
get yeah, did you get Paul? Did you add Paul 3 on the piece?
I did. He is unavailable at the moment.
All right, so this is a mixed bag tonight, but to go back to the music.
Yes.
And
Tribute bands.
how I mean, it's really it's really just Facebook. I mean, this is I think this is a news piece that y'all may have missed, but this is important. I really want an answer from Prince because this is a big one for him. This would be a big one for Prince for sure, and for Brown. I mean, obviously, over the years. Just let me cook here and let me say what this breaking news is, but it's not really breaking news because I don't think it's obvious. These fan-made concert or advertisements for like these future shows that they do on Facebook, Brown, like where they're fake because it'll say click this link and it takes you to nothing.
Yep, we had
really
scams.
I mean, all that I mean, obviously from the band's social medias themselves, or Eddie Trunk show, all first from stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Facebook, it's a mixed bag for music news and other things, I'm sure too. I mean, there's a lot of fake stuff, but these music, I don't want to call them posters, but they're animated, fan made. They're advertisements for a future tour. Latest one, Roses touring with Motley Crue, and calling it the tour of our tour, like they're calling it something. But you click on the link and it's fake and it's not leading you to no websites, fans.
It's a
But
scam.
seen Brown, I'm not, we're, older guys, so he got to experience some of these bands when they're coming out, when they're new, these legacy major bands. We didn't, so I'm kind of catching all these groups at the tail end of their careers, which is interesting. But, I mean, so far so good. I mean, 80% of it's been really good, you know what I mean? But so, like, I would, something like this, what my point is I think I've seen, like, how do I say this? Like, I don't want to say I've seen it all, like, literally concert wise, but like I've seen stuff to where you couldn't imagine this is going on. The whole all of Bob Marley's sons coming together to do Bob Marley songs. All of his sons, Stephen, Kymani,
Ziggy,
Julian, all of his sons come together. I mean, I've seen tours that you wouldn't think would be this whole Sammy Hagar thing with Joe Satriani doing the Hagar era Van Halen, right?
there he is. Paul's in the mix now. What's up, Paul?
Obviously when if I was 50 or 60 years old, I could have seen that in '88 or whatever when that 5150 album came out. Blah blah blah. But y'all get my point. Like, I feel like I've seen some pretty epic shit, and I might have a little tidbit autism because I'm not drunk, but I am pretty enamored and awed when I'm seeing some of this stuff live. I don't know. Might be an autism thing, just because I'm not. If I was drunk, I would understand. Like, oh my god, like. But and that being said, bro, my point is, I could see Guns N' Roses and Motley Crue tour together.
Yeah, but are you going to be on better terms? Are you going to be on better terms now?
Shit doesn't matter. They're all in. That shit don't matter. They're all in. That would be mega huge. They're all in separate tour buses now. Each member of all band of those huge mega bands, they all got their own, just like these wrestlers. And I'm telling you, like, the stadium show that happened with Poison, Crew, and Leopard, like, you could definitely see Guns N' Roses and Crew doing a show. I mean, the fan bases, everything, all the past beef from 40 years ago, that shit don't matter. Like, that's a major payday. I mean, that would be a way to go out rather than do, like, these. Motley Crue's not going to do another farewell tour. They could, but that would look so. I mean, they did that. They came back. I don't think they're ever going to do it. Like, this is the way to go out. Two major bands of that era. This is a fan made. This is like not just one. It's a couple. But who knows? It could be like a roadie from Guns N' Roses' wife knows a rumor, and we don't know. Vince Neil is going through weird health procedures right now, like bad stuff to where they're canceling. Not bad, like he did a procedure and he's recovering, but it's it might be some type of heart thing where he has to, because they're canceling shows and they're postponing shows and already major shows. So my point is, I definitely see this happen. I'm optimistic about it. I would 1,000% go to this. Okay. I did not go to the Poison, Motley Crue, Def Leppard tour thing because I wasn't going to concerts mega huge like I'm now. You got to get that bug. Once you get that bug, then it's nice. With anything really, like but Prince is here.
Paul 3's here.
Paul 3. I told Prince I didn't have like, bro. Basically, my story on the whole thing is, yeah, I was like checking the Skype thing, but when you're going to a concert, guys, you're not really focusing on a Skype chat the whole time. You're pre-gaming, you're getting something to eat, you're standing in line, you're going to finding parking. I'm not, I'm ultimately, I have my phone in my pocket mostly because I don't want to waste my battery clicking the phone on, looking at Prince, getting mad because whatever. But like when I saw Prince mad, I was confused. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? Paul 3 was saying some stuff. So Paul 3, bring us back. Paul 3, people with Prince now. Like Prince said a lot during the show earlier, and Prince is mad. Sounds very entitled. Like, I got invited to a concert, all things paid for, and Paul Furry said, "Fuck you." So he left the group cards. I mean, that's pretty much what I got from everything. Very entitled, Prince, as an African American black
How,
man.
how was that entitled? You cursed me out for no reason.
All three great ancestors were your slave masters or something, bro. Come on, man. We don't support that. I mean, you do. He's acting like, bro, I gave him an invite for a fucking concert. One of the safest things I mean, bro, 70,000 people there, cameras all around you.
Mm-hmm.
One of the safest things you can go to. Cops and everything there. I mean, everything was fine. You know what I'm saying?
What me and Earl want to know is what was the reason to curse me out? That's what it is.
Earl's saying Paul
Why are you
3
so
cursed you out.
afraid?
I don't think I.
Why are you
Well,
so
I
afraid?
did read Paul saying, fuck Prince and all that in the Skype chat regarding this issue.
Yeah, because you were really rude because YR offered you a spot at the AC/DC concert free of charge in your town, stadium show, and you literally ghosted like a
Just
bitch.
fucking curse me out and just carry it into a rage of whatever you did.
You deserve it.
I don't deserve that. I really didn't. I didn't do shit.
Missed the
Yes, you
fucking
do.
concert.
Yes, you do.
Bad.
All right. So now you're YR's lawyer now?
Watch Snoop Dogg comes to concert. Oh, I want to go to that. Look at him. Yeah. Now Prince, he has every right to decline Paul 3, but look, that's the one thing about. I mean, sports is one thing. You know, shit can get into overtime and really drag out, and you know what I'm saying, just go on forever. But concerts, you always want to press the green button and go. You know, if you have doubts of,
Free ticket.
you know, Paul 3, I really want you to go to that Rick Emmett show.
Rick Emmett? Oh, wow. He's coming to, is he coming to Texas?
It's a free ticket, bro, literally, and you ghosted. You didn't even tell YR, hey, maybe I can try and make it, or hey, something came up. You didn't even say anything. You just ghosted him. That's
All you had to do was show up.
Earl, he doesn't even understand what happened.
Well, did you reply to the invitation saying, yes, I'll be there, most definitely, I'll give me a ticket, I'll join in, or I may not be able to make it if I got to work on a couple of things. If anything works out, I'll let you know if I'm ready or not. Did you do that, Prince?
No, because I didn't understand what concert he was going to.
exactly. He didn't understand. He did. No, that's a lie. YR spelled it out. We talked about it.
Talked about it 1,000 times.
Bro, he's lying. He's lying. He's a liar.
How? Never mind. When I was understanding,
Yo,
you
he
said
goes.
that-
Prince goes. Concert
you
is
said
good.
that you switch it to AC/DC. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, the
Well,
one I remember was simply AC/DC. That was about it. I know, dear, you mentioned about checking out Billy Idol.
Look,
That's
I
not
can
what's
see
so-
where the confusion.
don't know,
I can
but
see
I
where the
know-
confusion was, but come on.
I would
I
have
mean,
just simply.
regardless, Paul 3, if you were in my area, any concert, if it was fucking Mr. Ducky Wucky, and I had an extra ticket, I'm sure Paul 3 would be like, hell yeah, bro, you know, hit a couple bongs and let's go see that. You know, hit a couple mushrooms.
Take some gummies. Hell yeah, bro. We'd be all over that for sure. That'd be an awesome time. Take some pictures, you know what I mean? Get a couple selfies.
Yo.
Yeah, that'd be
Do
awesome,
it.
bro.
In fact, to do a live show together, like me and YR
Yes.
did years ago.
Yes.
But look, there is people with autism like Prince that don't understand like
Hold up,
you know,
hold up, hold up,
outings-
hold up,
like
hold up, hold up,
outings
hold up.
and you know interacting with humans outdoors and stuff. You know they don't.
What?
understand that
Hold. Let's derail. Can I ask about this autism thing that you keep bringing up all the time? Are you referring to Prince?
I am referring to Prince's autism. Yeah,
How do you know he has autism?
there's just certain.
Yeah, but
look, there's stuff, and you're getting real defensive, and I'm not shitting on autism. I'm just saying there's stuff coming out weekly. I mean, people like Paul 3, Cronin, me, others with like ADD, which they're saying autism is in that ADD, ADHD pond. Common ADHD and ADD is like, which I think is all a farce, fake thing for the pharmaceutical
Well, let me
companies in the
say this.
90s.
Why are
Hello? Yo, not done. The ADHD thing is a whole farce for like pharmaceutical companies in the 90s sell like this, the whole speed thing or the whole like
Ritalin?
amphetamines basically to children. And Brown has autism, obviously, so he's defending it. But like I'm allowed to say that Prince has autism because of certain things, and it's a blanket statement. I know there's different degrees and levels, level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Not making any sense. Why are you do
Honestly,
realize that?
Hold up.
autism, you shouldn't define. I'm not defining Prince is autistic, Brown. I don't, I'm not done
Yeah, but
talking.
why are? Let me say this. Some people can be a certain way and not have autism. Think about that.
Well, what proof? Well, no, there's no proof that he doesn't have autism. Honestly,
Yeah, but a lot of times you said the same thing about a certain idiot from Minnesota who was completely
he's
deleted his channel.
Look, I'd put
He's not
$100 down and
autistic.
see.
He's just an all-out hating piece of trash. That's all there is to it.
It's all the same, I think Brown has autism because I think you just have.
I've been autistic all my
I think
whole life.
Well, I think you just have a speech thing. That's all, and everyone has that at one point in their life.
That's true. That comes along with it as well.
Because
As
you can do things on the guitar that
Oh my.
I'm a person that I can't even, just off that alone and just other things.
the music sets
Brown's driving ability is really good. You know what I'm saying? Like you
my
can't
work ethic.
I wouldn't even like use autism as a crutch, Brown, if you ever have in your life.
I never used a crutch. I never did.
I want to be labeled as this, so I should be treated like this. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel and I know you have it. I'm just saying do like Prince. Just the color of his skin, he probably uses that as an excuse to.
Oh,
Paul 3, what did you
Ooh.
like? I'm just being bold. I'm black, motherfucker, so I don't need to be treated this way or do this or pay for that. Prince, go ahead. Paul 3, go ahead.
what?
I'm black, motherfucker, so I shouldn't have to pay for college. Prince, you don't agree with that?
You make no sense whatsoever, buddy.
Texan, man. African American Texan.
Let me put it this. Well, let me
ahead,
square it off with this. It was a miscommunication, a misunderstanding between both YR and Prince Idol that got way escalated. Prince Idol, thought it was going to
Prince,
be
that is a good excuse for Prince. Like I didn't know what band it was, so I didn't accept the offer. I mean, I'll go with that. You know what I'm saying?
But Prince
That's
on the safe side, you could at least informed YR if you'll be able or not to make the show. That YR
But I did tell
offered
you
to check
Prince
out.
where to go, which was Cowboy Stadium, so it should be obvious. You know what I'm saying? My bad, Brown. But Brown, you would have accepted. Paul 3 would have accepted.
I would,
There's always
yes,
more
exactly.
concerts coming.
Yes.
There's more concerts coming down the pike. So, but that was a big one.
I think it's just
Me-
because
me
he
and
doesn't
Paul-
like you. I think he doesn't like you, bro, because I went on a tangent the other day on Skype and I started looking at a bunch of old chats and then I found some older streams as well. And there is some on there where Prince wasn't talking so good about you, YR. So I don't know if he actually likes you deep down. I think that is really one of the main problems with all
No
of
room
this.
in the hate. There's no room in the world for hate, and but it's okay. I'm not gonna treat Prince any other way. Prince said, "We are in a band." Slash
Hey, wait, there's no other
Slash
stream.
and Axl Rose maybe
So
didn't like
you
each
talk
other at one
about-
point.
There's never been a stream where there was hate on here, and Earl can testify to that.
That's true. Yeah, there was a
Well,
lot
I'll
of
have to find it.
drama, but a lot of issues, but not a lot, but no hate. That's for sure.
No, I'll find it and I'll clip it because Prince said I never liked that dude when we're talking about YR. I'll find it and I'll clip it.
Damn.
Right.
I'll pull,
All right.
I'll
So
pull a Cronin.
all right. Well, Cronin is he uses anything he can to get money. whether it's
Yeah.
ADAD or a depression or anything else, taxes, IRS, kids keep breaking his damn TVs.
I mean, at one point I would go with that, but like when you donate your money, you know what you're doing. So I can't feel bad. Or I can't feel any, weird way. Like people want to donate their money. That's their right.
Yeah,
I don't
but
want to tell people what to not. I don't want to be left and tell people what to spend their money on. But I am a mark for Cronin, so I have to throw that in there too. To
well,
be fair.
let me say
Um,
this. If I was Cronin, I would ask for donations to fund the show and the channel. Enough said. Instead of throwing out little fake tidbits like, I owe the IRS
He
this
could
huge
have
amount of
this.
money.
He could have this or that. Brown, come on. We all go through sickness in our lives. No one's perfect. Paul 3, you had you fell down in your life a couple times. Had to use a Band-Aid, maybe. We can't be like we're Superman and we don't get scabs and. Well, I'm not saying we're ECW wrestlers here, but I'm saying we have shed some blood, shed some tears, sweat, got some dirt in our eye a couple times. Prince, I mean, Lord knows you get ashy as hell. You got to use lotion.
Hell,
I mean,
I cannot tell you how many
me,
scars and bruises I
me, and
got back in South
me and Brown
Michigan.
and Paul 3, we get sunburned. So it all, it all evens out. It all, it's all. Everyone has to go through their. Right, but Brown,
Hmm.
we have to do like a 360 on the show topic tonight because Paul
Okay.
3 wants nothing to do with the tribute bands, which I'm gonna respect.
Well, let
There's
me.
bigger things. Listen, there's bigger things. Brown, there's bigger things. Like we gotta look.
I don't
Well,
understand Earl why I got to
This whole
explain.
Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, six thing.
it's. I doubt if those two are going to tour
Come on.
together because they're doing their own gigs, they're doing their own stuff. You got to remember there was a bit
They
between.
are doing their list. They are doing their. They are, but Motley Crue did do their thing with Leopard,
Yeah,
Poison, and all that shit. Okay, so like it's not like they're
yeah,
not.
but there was no fist. There was no fist exchange between Axl Rose and Vince Neil.
Do you guys know Vamp
Never
and
talk
Blood?
about all of these bands nowadays. They don't even. If they're cool with each other, they're interact. If not, all of these people have their own tour buses. They're stepping on stage. When they're done, they're stepping straight to the tour bus. They might
Mhm.
mingle with whatever, but usually, from what I hear, what my sources, and my sources, anyone else can hear those sources. The Eddie Trunk show, but like, Eddie Trunk says shit like, okay, so like even this ACDC thing, Angus is going straight from the here. There's a little thing. He was talking about like the two members that just got in, the drummer and the bass player,
Mhm.
are the ones you're gonna see. Might see them at a bar, a local bar, or you're not seeing the main. The Brian Johnsons. They're stepping from the Uber to the arena to the stage outside the door, even before about like the encore song goes when the band is like the lighting when the band is already outside the building before the lighting is like on most, you know what I'm saying, if that makes
Yes.
sense. And you look at our interaction with Rob Halford. That was
Yeah.
the last show on the US tour.
Mhm.
He
Yep.
steps out of the building. Now we had to wait, and it's whatever.
Yes.
Concert ends, we leave, we walk out. When you have the gates and shit, you got to be real your surroundings. Blah blah blah. You might talk to a security guard. Yeah, this they'll be out here, and you might you have to be have be aware. And if it's obvious if there's a group of people waiting, blah blah blah, they have stuff to sign. Okay, let's wait here. That shit with Halford is so rare because most bands they charge for meet and greets, blah blah blah.
That's true.
Someone at that level. I mean, obviously you go see a Paul 3, you wait outside. This isn't any. I'm just talking about the level, like the bar club level. You wait outside the bar or club, or not even that, like fucking whatever, like you know what I'm saying. Easily shake Paul III's hand, get an autograph, get a pic, everything.
Or
Easily, you know what I'm
selfie.
saying.
I go out to the crowd myself at this point. Are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, a lot of the bands, as y'all know, like wait at the merch stands, and like a lot of these tribute bands even have their own merch. Believe it or not, guys, like they're making money off the AC/DC font. I mean, it's close to it, but some of these bands get contacted from, you know, the bands if they're selling merch, if the font of their logo is similar, and they're like, "Hey, man, you can't." I mean, some of these bands, the real bands, are assholes, rightfully so. Paul III has a different. You know, me and Paul III could debate for hours on tribute bands. Paul III has a different outlook on tribute band. He thinks it's a bunch of fat men that are lazy, don't want to create their own music, blah blah blah. You know, if you really look into it, there's different levels to it. Obviously, there's people that, like, you know, like Paul III saying, but you know, if you look into it, a lot of these people, they teach guitar themselves. Maybe they back in the day had something going locally, like, you know, big bands back in the day, whatever that means. Maybe not now, but maybe in, you know, 85, you know, they had a original band. Okay, so you got to give them that credit. But now they're doing tribute bands. You know what I'm saying? The talent, guitar is so fucking hard to play. Obviously, the hard for people that can play it, like Paul III and Brown, but practice and everything. I mean, singing, you know, that's, come on, it's a hard thing to do. So there is a lot of talent with the tribute band thing. Paul III is an original band guy, and that's harder work. That's hard. You putting that, you know, it's not just showing up to the thing, and you actually have to create original things, put it all together, and then try it live, and then make it work live and get tight. Prince, do you have any experience with stage?
Yes, I was in musical theater my whole life. Yes, a lot of experience on stage.
And a lot of people were saying they need proof of you being cousins with Rick Sterling. Strick Swerveling, whatever.
Sterling.
Can we get like a autograph wrestling belt, maybe, or like each of us, or?
First of all, it's not Sterling. It's
Tickets to the. You got to make it all up to us and hook us up with some tickets from Swerve for the pay-per-view coming up, man. All in.
Right.
Which I got to say is a cheap ticket. For $100, you can get on the floor.
You got to go to that.
$80, like WWE's trying to charge like 80 for the nosebleeds. They're more, really, sometimes. It depends what but like the first row of the nosebleeds isn't all that bad sometimes. It depends, you know what I'm saying? And those are like, you know, the premium. But bro, there's a lot of tickets left for that pay-per-view. That's not good. That thing should be like sold out.
Yeah, WrestleMania was like, I think ringside was $30,000 or something like that.
No
I heard.
surprise.
That might have been it was a bad WrestleMania, but there was like entertaining parts. It's the only word that comes to mind. Like, it wasn't like, I mean, the Stone Cold thing was gay. God, it pissed me off.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to the tribute groups out there, since that was the main topic. And by the way, in the Skype chat, I showed my interaction with the Motley Crue tribute group that I saw in the Concert Pub North prior to the pandemic striking us from behind.
Nah, wait, you already did the tribute shit. Me and Paul III came on.
Yeah, but I wanted to give.
Paul III doesn't want to do that. Please.
So the first tribute act I ever saw.
Really, y'all don't think Guns N' Roses is gonna tour at Motley Crue?
I don't know. I have to wait.
I'll tell you a cool tribute act story that I.
I'm just fucking around. I'm just kidding, Brad.
Here's a tribute act story that I saw. This is actually one of the first live music memories I have. Once I was at a ski resort. My dad was going to a show up there. I didn't really know. I was kind of like I think I was 8 or 9. Okay, so but money, and I had to go ask my dad for some more money for the arcade. And I remember going out there and hearing Boris the Spider
Mm.
song in the Who, Boris the Spider.
Yep.
Watch this band play Beatles song. There was a tribute act. Hear me out on this. Here's where I like walk down Abbey Road, and it was a tribute act made up of legends: John Entwistle of the Who, David Pack from Ambrosia, Ann Wilson from Heart. Okay, we're talking like heavy hitters here. And they did a tour where they played Beatles songs and then a couple of their hits. So I remember being 8 or 9, walking out there, and that's probably one of my first, like I said, live music experiences, and it blew my freaking mind, and I still remember that to this day. That's when I like tribute acts, when you have legitimate artists kind of paying tribute to another band. But when you just got a group of guys, because they don't want to write original music or want to make some money to go out there and play a bunch of like Def Leppard songs, that's when I have a problem with it. I just think it's really cruddy. It's bad business, and it's just really slummy business. I don't like it. It's not creative.
Well, I think in the
Yeah,
eyes of
but
the
look,
well, I think in the eyes of the fans who see these groups, it kind of brings back memories to them when they used to see the originals back in their heyday. Like for example,
Yeah.
it kind of gives them the feel of nostalgia. Like for instance, at the same place that I mentioned, Concert Pub North, they had a Styx tribute group called Renegades that I checked out. And probably one of the highlights was all the old school Styx fans out there dancing with their loved ones when they were doing Come Sail Away.
all
Yeah,
right,
yeah, you have
so
that, but
It's
let me just
nostalgia.
say, I'm an original group, but and we play shows. We play a lot of 3 hour shows. We played 4 hour shows, and you have to play covers. Okay, we do
That's true.
covers. We do great covers. My singer was actually in a Led Zeppelin tribute band before he joined my band, so he can sing all of that stuff amazingly. So, I mean, you have original bands out there who play covers as well, so it's not like the only way you can get some nostalgia is from tribute acts. That's just kind of like I said, it's killing music. Look in the 70s, look in the 80s when this was going on. We didn't have any tribute acts. That wasn't a thing. People were still trying to create, make music, make artistry out there. I think the first tribute act that I can remember coming onto the scene, this is way before me, but what I've read is Beatlemania seems to
Mm,
be the biggest, or excuse me, the first tribute act out there that I can remember,
yes, I remember that.
Beatlemania, and I saw them growing up as well. I saw the Fab Four. I've seen tribute acts. I'm not completely like a virgin to tribute acts. I've seen them, but like I said, I still just think a couple guys in a garage getting together to play a band's catalog is crummy. I will say, Beatlemania through the years, I don't know what they're doing now, if they're still even a thing, but through the years, Beatlemania was really impressive. Those guys they could pull off the harmonies and they could play the parts. So I mean, some of these tribute acts are impressive. I'm not taking away that, but
That's true.
I don't want to have everything be a tribute act. I don't want original music to die. That's my biggest thing.
Yeah, I
Because
know.
then
I,
what do
I
we have?
I see your
all right,
point on that
so
one.
hello. All right, so uninterrupted. Let me give him my piece. Um, Look, I'm gonna be going to tribute this year, and I'm gonna take some videos and vlog it, and give Paul 3 the experience that he deserves. Because number one, there's a lot here, and Brown knows about this because he's been to. But like the Beatles thing is, I feel like Elvis, the Elvis impersonator thing was kind of a tribute thing too, perhaps. Elvis and the Beatles. I saw a Beatles tribute 20 years ago, man. Um,
Hmm.
and now, tribute's been around for a while. You got to appreciate them because look, in 15 to 20 years, 15 to 20 years, and Really, it may be another 10 years, but I'm talking your 70s and 80s acts. A lot of these bands are going to turn into Foreigner Live or Foreigner Live right now. 0 members that's never been in the band, original band, not one. Sometime, I mean, they're doing, this tour thing, and the Kelly Hansen guy's getting sick, and then putting this other guy. I mean, it's not even like, it's just so weird and watered down, and I mean, but that's what you're gonna get, these like band approved tributes, because bro, all these artists from the 60s and 80s. I mean, look at the 80 people in the 80s are like getting to like 60 now. You know what I'm saying? Like, how old is like Vince Neil and Tommy Lee and all that? Aren't they like 58, 59, like getting close to 60, if not 60? Like, so that's like, okay, like you might get another 5 years for that band, perhaps. And yeah, they brought in John 5, blah, 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 maybe another 10. You're not getting 15 to 20 years more from Motley Crue. They're not going to bring in another singer who, I mean, people were talking about like that for AC/DC. Like, if Angus stays in the band and they bring in someone else on vocals, I mean, how they're going to keep doing like stadiums like this for another 10 years, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Angus was moving around fine. He wasn't stayed in one spot, and he was definitely doing the thing. But Brian's like 78. But I'm not trying to talk about AC/DC. I'm just saying, for an example, people, these mega huge. I mean, there's some stuff you can't. Yeah, they did the thing with Axl Rose, but there's some. In my opinion, I don't know. There's some stuff you can't. I mean, what Kiss did with Ace Frehley and Peter Criss. By the way, in that news, did y'all see I tweeted y'all? Peter Criss is doing a studio album.
Yes, I saw that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I tweeted. He bringing all these guys together, Paul, through like this all-star band, like you were talking about the Beatles thing, like it's an all-star type band or whatever. But Peter Criss is doing a studio. I tweeted. We need to peel that back a little bit, but look, Brown, people get old.
Yes.
Okay, and sometimes they're not that great anymore. But look, I've seen Sammy Hagar. He's like, really old, and one of the greatest things I've seen in my life.
But let me go back to
I don't
Angus
know, man.
Young. He's not as movable as he was back in the day. Keep that in mind. You go back to
we know these people are old. I'm saying it's better than what it could be. There's stuff out there that people just need to hang it up. You know what I'm saying? There's stuff out there that Dawkins and others that it's too. It's just too. It's disgusting.
going on with
even
just
like the stupid Skid Row crap, like Skid Row the band. Like, who the fuck wants to see someone else sing those? Like, people want to see Sebastian Bach, bro.
I know.
People want to see People want to see certain people. Like, certain people are bigger than the band. Certain like frontmans, sometimes guitarists, but like fucking Axl Rose, Axl Rose and Slash are bigger than Guns N' Roses. Like, Brian Johnson, Angus Young are bigger than AC/DC. That's why.
I disagree. I disagree with that 100% because those guys can't go out on their own names and tour. That's why they're using their band name.
No, that's what I'm saying. They are doing that.
No, those names are not bigger than the name itself. There's no way because Axl Rose.
I know that. I like not the name, touring the name wise. It's not, but because look at Dickinson. Bruce Dickinson's touring his name. He's doing House of Blues for his tour. When Maiden does it, they're doing
arenas and stadiums.
You know what I mean? Arenas fucking show. Like, I agree with you. I agree on Paul Thursday. I'm not saying that. I'm saying people know it's just those guys in the band, and they're still gonna hit that. Which that place was packed.
The name sells more than the individual. Look at
the actual name, yes, but if you actually see who's in the touring band, certain like Bush, you go see a Bush live show. But everyone just wants to see Gavin Rossdale. Okay. Gavin Rossdale. You go to a Smashing Pumpkins show. Most people just want to see
that one member or two members.
Well, no, most people want to see what's his name.
Well, Billy Corgan.
Billy Corgan had a brain fart. Yeah, I mean, you get what I'm saying here. Like, I mean, obviously you're deeper.
I think your voice. There you go.
But he's doing his own thing. Where I'm gonna go see.
Well, let me point something out here that really pissed off a lot of people back around 1986, and we did
Go see the
discuss it.
stuff.
Yeah. Tony Iommi was about to release a solo record that year. The record label in both England and the US encouraged him to call it Black Sabbath. They figured it would sell a lot more copies under the Black Sabbath name because obviously Black Sabbath's a big name and it would definitely outshine Tony Iommi, the solo artist. So Tony agreed on it. He got the rights to the name and he took these new guys and called it Black Sabbath. Now, of course, the record label was right. They were doing arenas instead of clubs if they were as Tony Iommi and his band, and whichever it would be called. But people called it out. This is not Black Sabbath. This is a tribute act. Now, of course, they did not call it a tribute act back then, but they called it a total ripoff. But the point being is that, of course, the band name outweighs the individual by most definitely. Like, for example, Pete Agnew. He's the bass player for the band Nazareth. He's the only original member left. Everybody else is new onto the scene, other than Charlie Hung. He used to do rhythm guitar and vocals with Ted Nugent. But, it's the name that counts, unfortunately. And what we got here? Okay, what's going on here? What's going on here, dude?
Brown, your show has been off past an hour.
It's been off. I'm offline. What the fuck? Son of a bitch. I don't know what. I know what the hell is. I know there was that issue that was coming along in the past was going on again. Fucking hell. Hold on, let me see if I can restart the show. For some fucking dumb reason, the thing keeps messing up. You know what? For now, let's just use StreamYards and get it over with and just keep it under 2 hours altogether. Shut. There you go.
No, he didn't. He just wasn't good on the show at all. He was terrible last week.
Okay, let me set up the stream once again. This happened last time there, for fucking crying out loud. I don't know why it's doing this. It keeps going to this. It keeps going to this. YouTube is not receiving enough video bit rate. All that bullshit. It's been doing that for the past couple of weeks. Whenever we do our show, and I'm getting pretty fucking fed up with it.
Well, we gotta use X spaces.
Well, thank goodness my OBS is still recording this right now. Let's try this again. Blah blah blah. All right, let's do this.
Prince, you watching the NBA playoffs? You know it. Like a Paul 3 wearing a Chipson shirt. Chipson. What do you think about like the Chinese-made guitars that looks just like that? Like they
Gotta
call
buy
it.
American. Gotta buy
No,
American guitars.
Yeah, buy American. I agree on that level
no, I know
because
that,
half
but
these
like I'm
Japanese
saying,
guitars,
the
these
$200 ones that look
okay,
like
check.
a fucking $10,000 Les Paul and it say Gibson on them and all that. Like they make the.
Yeah, it's a Gibson.
What do you think about that? It's just a look. There's no.
They're terrible. They're usually set up horrible and they don't even play. They're usually crap.
Just for like the wall hanging.
They're made to look really, yeah, actually. They're made to look good, but they don't play well.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard about that a few times myself.
Gibson. Right now.
Okay. Okay.
Doug Brown, you got that Obama era Wi-Fi box. You got to get that.
No. Here's the thing. I'm okay. So I'm on Teams right now. I don't know why it keeps going to camera when I don't want it to be. Okay, so I'm on Teams right now. Where do I see if I could do this?
I'm honestly scared to go to if I bought tickets for me and Prince and I surprised him, he wouldn't go. You know how pissed off I would be? Like if I pre-bought, you know what I'm saying?
All right.
All three, you gotta.
Be wasting your money like crazy.
It says here I cannot send messages because I'm not a member of the chat.
Yeah, see, Brown, you're getting all worked up. We're just gonna move to X Spaces next week, brother.
Oh yeah, but is X Spaces going to work? That's the thing. We
Yes.
tried that last time.
Well, we were at work. We were waiting on Paul 3 and others to join.
All right, there.
It worked.
I was there. I'll join you, but I didn't hear you.
Well, you gotta fix your shit.
Well, I don't know why it's doing this, but in fact, it only does this whenever we do our show. But if I do a music live stream, there has no problems.
Fix your damn shit, dude.
I don't know why it's doing this. Maybe it's a Skype, interfering with the Wi-Fi or whatever it is. I'm not too sure.
You know what? None of us knows. You get mad over it does nothing because none of us can figure that out. It's just a Wi-Fi. That does happen sometimes. Wi-Fi gets slowed, and it's not like you put a towel over your computer and it got overheated. Like it's not like you did anything out of the ordinary. You can't be getting mad over this stuff, Brown. Like this, you're a 78-year-old man that voted for Kamala Harris. Okay,
No, I
we
didn't.
gotta. No,
I know.
bro, we gotta. Brown, you hit that. You got that tuxedo, that vampire tuxedo thing that I like.
I don't know. I don't know why it's. I'm trying to join the team. I'm trying to join the Microsoft Teams chat right now, but it says music. No, wait a minute. Let me say here.
I think we're on Skype. We're on Skype.
Oh, wait, we're on Skype. It says Teams.
Well, you're on the wrong. I mean, it could be both. They're both integrating into each other.
Let me try this. Let me go back to Skype for crying out loud. All right.
Did y'all see that? Okay, Ball 3, you only have 2 minutes left, but.
Hey, Peter Chris is doing a studio album with some all-star people.
Yeah, Billy Sheenan and everybody else. I don't know why it said Microsoft Teams for some reason. In fact, it gave me a different ringtone than usual Skype. So,
I'm on Microsoft Adult. You're on Microsoft Teams.
right.
Prince did bend the knee to us tonight. He said he's sorry and just confused why we told him to fuck off.
Right.
Look, to me, Prince left the group chat, and I was like, what the hell? So to everyone else, Prince, it was like that weird that you left after getting an invite to something nice. It's not like I invited you to come fight or come kill me, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
Paul, he's milking this, bro. You need to learn how to leave it alone. You don't see Paul milking it. You gotta stop milking this, bro. It's over and done.
won't you, my best man? Yo, Prince, y'all talked about this for now or start of the show? Come on.
Well, when we started the
No.
show, we talked about the
Over.
issues and we got into the main topic, which is tribute bands.
Yeah.
Brown, you're trying to make this into a whole big thing, and it's
I'm not.
like
I'm not. I'm just letting Prince make his statement about what
No, you're
happened
like,
a couple
"Oh, we
weeks
need to-"
ago.
Oh, we need to call in a Ken show and bring it up and make it a big deal. Come on, bro. Stop.
Yeah, but YR, you were been known to bring in lots of people who had nothing to contribute to the
Well,
show.
well, no one fucking cares about drama in this community anymore. Everyone left. Everyone left. And one day, look, YouTube will die too because Skype is dying. And I never would think I would see the day. Honestly, like
And I'm
Skype is
pissed
dead.
off about it.
Elon Musk bought Twitter. Like, bro, anything can happen. You can't. YouTube's not gonna live forever. Okay, that's why I put a lot of my videos on Rumble. Rumble's not gonna live forever either.
You know,
Facebook's not gonna live. Like, bro, once YouTube's gone, a lot of people in this community are gonna commit suicide. I think, honestly.
or go ape shit.
I mean, or both, because this community
You know what?
means
I
wrong.
got to interrupt there. I remember when TikTok went down for how long it was, a couple of days. All the little boys and girls, the little teeny boppers out there who were so desperate for the attention. They were crying their eyeballs out. They were in literate tears. Oh, my TikTok is gone. How am I supposed to earn money now? Snubby little brats.
Clancy,
Well,
you okay? Prince, you okay with what Trump's doing right now? With the
Tribute show. I like what Brown did with the Motley Crue. I love it.
yes. And by the way,
all right,
let me
Prince.
let me ask this one question. There are a lot of okay. All right, so
I can't get a goddamn opinion. Y'all really don't think Guns N' Roses is gonna tour with Motley Crue?
we'll have to wait and see. Is my only statement on that.
I think it's genius. And when you go to the shows, you smell the nostalgia in the air. You get a glimpse of what's going on. I study the tours. You know, I see what's coming. I see, you know what I'm saying? And honestly, that would be I don't, it might be a football stadium. I don't know. It might be, you know, they call it stadium, but when Molly Crew did the thing with Def Leppard Poison, it was baseball fields, guys. It was
Yes.
baseball stadiums. It wasn't this ACDC thing. It was the football field. So it's a big, huge difference. Like 70,000 people compared to like maybe 40,000. It's like way different. I mean, 40,000, 35,000, 30,000 is still like a baseball field stadium is still huge. It really is, but it's like half. Like these football fields, these football stadiums are so big. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they're all these stadiums. It's not the best fucking sound, dude. It's like you gotta depends on where you're sitting and.
Why did they stop playing the original venues that they normally were famous to play, like the Whiskey and Go-Go? Why did they like these bands? How come they never go back to playing the original venues?
They did. Molly Crew
Well,
did
they
that
did.
this year.
Yes, they did. Guns N' Roses played the Troubadour. That's where he broke his leg back in 2016. Motley Crue
Yeah,
went back to
I'm
Whiskey
saying
and
they
Go-Go
like once every blue moon they do it. Why they don't do it more often?
because of the popularity that that band has achieved throughout the years. I mean, if they were just to do a club tour, there'd be people way outside for miles and
But that's
miles and
how
miles.
isn't that how they started? Like that's what got them there. I think they should just keep doing it. It helps bring in new bands. Like what happened to the playing strip?
Motley Crue. Well, none of y'all would be able to go to that anyway. So
Yeah.
it's not. It's way far away. And it's a lot of money.
If they were, well, let me say this, if
too much money.
Motley Crue has done stadiums, AC/DC are still doing stadiums, Guns N' Roses are doing stadiums. If those three were to combine and do a tour together, all three of them, not only would they sell out every stadium, they'd be selling out the whole damn continent.
ACDC, ACDC is bigger than Guns N' Roses and Motley Crue. Number one, that would never happen. ACDC is doing it by themselves. I mean, yeah, they're bringing up Pretty Reckless opening, but no one's going to that city. Like that's why Motley Crue had a tour with Def Leppard and Poison. They can't. There's another big two groups that are touring together. I forget what it was, what package it was, Brown. I mean, a lot of these people can't, like, yeah, they have the name, yeah, they have this or that, but like some of these bands tour every year and it gets overdone. It gets over. So like they make these packages
Mhm.
that are still you know what I'm saying?
That's still drawing money and people as well. Like REO
You know what?
Speedwagon and Styx.
Oh, this is a good package. Okay, so this isn't yeah, that's a good package, but like, you know, some of these groups don't tour a lot, so like this is what's going on for real now, and this is why. You know, Corn is touring with System of a Down.
Mm.
Find that package to be real, and I think they got Linkin Park with them too, or something. I don't know. It might just be those two, but I think it's third. It's a third, but Corn and System of a Down. Okay, that is a package of all packages, man. Um, you got System of a Down who never fucking
Oh,
tours.
you know, Earl,
Well,
what band I
yeah,
always
with
see
like,
people wear?
you know,
I see
What?
people always wear a Slipknot shirt and not know nothing about Slipknot.
Yeah, we discussed that one time there. That's for sure.
Yeah, what is that about? They always wear Slipknot. They always wear.
Trendies. That's how they are. They like to follow trends.
That's
These are the followers. These are the people with no identity, no opinions of their own. They just follow along whatever is out there. These are the idiots that are spoon fed by what the mainstream media, the mainstream markets are feeding them. And they absorb it like flies on shit.
yeah,
like,
like
for
Dr. Pearl
example, I
fucking
own
big hits.
so many
Big
rock
deal.
band shirts. When I wear Jimi Hendrix, I know Jimi Hendrix music. When I wear like Dr. Phil Go to Motley Crue, I know that album. If
Hmm
I wear like
I
ACDC shirt, I know the album. You know what I'm saying? You got to
yeah,
know
exactly.
it's stuff.
Exactly. I think Brett Michaels said it best. He could wear a Misfits T-shirt, but doesn't have
I don't know the
but he
music.
doesn't
Yeah,
have any of their albums, although knowing their songs, that will make him a poser.
right.
And that's what almost everybody out there today are indeed posers. Now,
I blame
let
Hot
me
Topic.
let
I
me
blame
ask.
Hot Topic. They sell those shirts to these people who have no idea about where the band comes from or where
Well,
how
Hot Topics is there to make profits and earn money. Enough said. The same thing with Macy's. The
I
same
do
thing with
support
Target.
that, but I do because Brown, we do need stores that do have like rock based stuff in there.
oh
I
my
know
god.
record stores has posters and stuff, but like I do support Hot Topic, man. They do have rock leaning
Yeah, but
garments. Come on. So does Walmart.
there's a store in
Walmart, I
Tampa
give it
that
up
I
to
go to
Walmart.
occasionally.
I give it up to Walmart's clothing section. They do have good rock shirts. Like a lot of that shit is cheaper stuff, and they do shrink like
Mhm.
badly. The thinner shirts, but Brown, you have to give it up. Please, can we give it up to like just the rock T-shirt sections in stores, man? Because they are that money probably does go to the bands. Your
That's true
Metallica
there.
shirt.
Yes, it is licensed to the band without a question. But the question is, the thing I want to know is, but is it going to be the same old that we often see how many times before?
Do I have to be a member of the New York Yankees to wear a New York Yankees hat, bro? No,
No.
I can be a fan and wear the hat. You can be a fan and wear the T-shirt. You can be a fake fan. I just don't. People wear stuff that they're not a fan of. Then that, yes, that is fake weird stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm saying.
That's the point we're trying to get at.
Well, who do you know that does that? I don't know anyone who does that.
The some of the
Come
shoppers
on.
at the grocery chain that I work at, I see a couple of black women out there wearing AC/DC t-shirts out there, and most of them probably into rap music, wishing Tupac was still alive, blah blah blah.
Oh, Prince. Do black people listen to ACDC, or y'all just buy that shirt at Walmart because it's $2?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. No,
That's it. $2 from the student session.
I don't know.
Plus, I cannot see an infant, I cannot see a 9-year-old girl wearing a Ramones t-shirt unless she knows songs like Either I want to be sedated, well, or rock and roll high school, or maybe Sheena is a punk rocker. And keep in mind, some of the stuff that the people know from some of these bands are the ones that are regularly played on the radio. That's all they understand. Well,
But the most popular shirt I always see is Slipknot and Nirvana, and I promise you, the people that wear those shirts, they don't know nothing about Nirvana.
they probably don't.
They really don't. They just like it because it
Well,
looks cool.
well, let me ask this one little question. I've been wanting to ask this from everybody out here. I've seen a lot of emergence of female tribute acts. Or guys' thoughts on that?
Can you add in Mr.
Mr. Who?
Can you add in Mr. Jacob RP on the call, please?
No, I don't
Oh,
want to talk. No, no,
Okay.
no, no. I don't want to talk to him.
He
I don't
plays. He just play go,
No,
and he's
not
playing
interested.
bass for a. He's
No,
playing
he's
bass
not.
for a
He plays with a skid
for a
flute.
bad. He's playing bass for a Bad Company tribute band in
No, he's
Jersey.
not. No, he's not.
He'd like to come on the show and talk about
No,
how.
no, no.
You okay?
Let's just end the conversation and try again.
Oh,
Let's